So how's it going, guys? Gonna put a clear finish on this guitar body here. Everything's been dried for a while now, and what I'm gonna add is lacquer. And lacquer is really what most people put on guitars. Specifically nitrocellulose lacquer is what they call it. This is not really the best, but it's a Home Depot brand of stuff, Watco. It takes a lot of sprays to get this to be thick and to get it to really protect. But the cool thing about this kind of lacquer is that you don't have to sand it every time you spray it. What it'll actually do is the coat after the next coat will actually bind and reactivate the coat that's on there before, and it'll just slowly build up a thicker and thicker layer as it goes. So that's why this lacquer is used, because it doesn't take a lot of work. In the end, you might need to sand your last layer and then do some buffing, which I may or may not do depending on how it comes out. But the idea with this is to spray a lot of thin layers and let them bind to itself. It's going to be a while. I'll be spraying this thing for a week, probably 2 or 3 coats a day until I get the whole thing done. So lacquer is going to be your password, lacquer. And let's spray it. I really should have my better mask on, but I'm outside, so it's not a big deal to have a respirator on for this. It's not healthy, but it's not horrible. I'm just going to dust it over the top. Get it from every angle. What I don't want is anything that's going to drip. Drips are not good. I'm really going to get just a good solid coat where I get everything. It's got a really wild smell to it. Kind of smells like spray paint, but a little different. Making sure I get all the parts. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to let that kind of air out a little bit before we go near it. I mean, it's all wafted away, but I can still smell this. Alright, get this side. Now this does not work in high humidity, so I actually waited until the end of the day, and I didn't do this yesterday as I had planned because it was just too humid out. And if you spray lacquer in high humidity, not that I know this because I've never actually done it. Oh, let that blow away. If you spray lacquer in high humidity, it apparently bubbles and doesn't look right. Now, I don't think you could really get a good enough view but this is not thick enough to really shine. Now that'll last, it'll be wet for about a half hour. And then I can put another coat on there, and that's what I'm going to do. So, I'm not sure. I don't think I'll make you watch through every coat. That might be a little ridiculous. But you can kind of see, and I'll bring the camera in. You can kind of see how it's gotten a little shinier. I'm going to just put an even coat on there. So lacquer is our password. LACQUER. Lacquer. All right.